Welcome to Theater Corner. I'm your host, Michael Taylor. Theater Corner was created as an ongoing effort to increase more diverse interest and involvement in the theater scene. This episode is brought to you by our generous sponsor, the Westgate Hotel. We will film today's interview in the exquisite Le Fontainebleau restaurant while enjoying a proper afternoon tea. The Westgate is a one-of-a-kind hotel completed in 1970 and filled with timeless elegance not found anywhere else in San Diego, California. Designed as a recreation of an anteroom in the Palace of Versailles, the grand lobby is noted for its magnificent antiques, Baccarat crystal chandeliers, Flemish and French tapestry, and Persian carpets. My guest is the talented playwright and philanthropist, Dea Hurston. Dea, along with her husband Osborne, have been longtime supporters of the arts. She was an arts commissioner for the city of San Diego for 8 years, and she has been a passionate champion for diversity and inclusion and theater.
If you want to make a difference, if you want to see inclusion on the stage, if you want to see inclusion in staffing, the power is on the board.
So silence your cell phones, folks. You're about to enter Theater Corner. Welcome, Dea Hurston, to Theater Corner. We're so happy to have you here.
Thank you, Michael.
I'm so excited you agreed to come appear on the show. We're going to talk about your plays, and we're going to talk about your involvement in the arts here in San Diego.
Okay.
And we're going to have fun doing so with our champagne and our scone and afternoon tea setup.
Well, that's what you promised me. So
It's part of I'm delivering on the agreement.
You are.
Thank you so much, Jose. All right. So let's start off talking about philanthropy. You and your husband Osborne have been longtime philanthropists here in San Diego. Why is that important to you?
I think maybe it began with just having access. My husband grew up in Los Angeles, and so as a child he did have access to arts events.
Okay.
I grew up in a small town in Ohio, and there weren't a lot of art events or art venues there to begin with. But what was around was closed to people of color. So the only plays that I ever saw growing up were either in church or at school. And I did not see a professional play until I went to college. So I think it's very important for us that children of color have access. And that's how we started, by just sponsoring buses so that children could go to plays.
Okay.
And then it kind of grew. We really do feel that our artists in this town, in San Diego, should be able to make a living here.
Right.
So that's one of our fights. We continue the fight for inclusion and diversity. We just think this is a great city to be an artist in, and we want it to be an even playing field for everyone. And we want especially children of color to have access to the arts, because I think we as a people value education, and we should. But as a former teacher, I feel that education gives you the roots, but the arts are what enables you to soar and dream and create. And that is just as important.
I love that. That's awesome. And so Osborne, so currently he's on the board of the La Jolla Playhouse, correct?
He's been on that board on and off since 1995.
Wow.
Yeah, so long time.
Long time. And you yourself, Dea, you've served 8 years as a San Diego Arts Commissioner. What was that experience like?
It was very exciting. It is a political position. A lot of people don't realize that, but it is a political position. You're appointed by the mayor. And as I said, I come from a small town of about 20 or 30,000 people, and to end up as an arts and cultural commissioner for, at that time, we were the 6th largest city in the country. Pretty heavy stuff for this little girl from Ohio. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, and I think I got a lot done. And I think it's very important that there were voices like mine on the commission.
Right, right.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's talk about Dea Hurston, the playwright. Yay!
My new job.
Your
yeah.
new job. And I'm so happy that you're getting your work and sharing it with the theater-loving public. One particular piece that I had the pleasure of sitting on the reading.
I'm so happy you were there.
I was so happy I was there because that was fabulous. This piece I'm talking about is the piece I Want to Marry Stevie Wonder.
Yes.
How about that? It showed me a different side of you, a side of you with the incredible humor, sense of humor. I mean, this play is fabulous. In the opening of the play, one of the main protagonists, Gigi, is reading a list. Sort of a how to marry little Stevie Wonder list. Step 1, meet him. Step 2, fall in love. Step 3, get married and live happily ever after.
Why not?
Why not? Tell me a little bit about this play.
Well, Gigi is very much, she was me. That's who I was. I fell in love with Stevie Wonder when I was 11 or 12, and he first came out with Fingertips Part 1 and Part 2, and I just thought he was it. I not only wanted to marry him, I wanted to give my virginity to him, not lose my virginity to him. I just wanted to hand it over to him. And every girl I knew my age was in love with Stevie, little Stevie Wonder.
Wow.
He was then, and he was fine. I mean, he was just so good looking. And he was our first kind of pop star. You know, this is before Michael Jackson or any of those kind of people. And we'd never really had anything like that, a young star like that. And I was just crazy about Stevie, and I just felt that if he met me and touched me, that he would fall in love with me, and we would get married on my 18th birthday, and we would buy Nat King Cole's mansion in Beverly Hills, and we would have 3 little black blind boys who looked just like Stevie, right? You know, don't ask me why they had to be blind. I was young, okay, so, but that was the whole thing, and so that's what this play is about, just her efforts to get to Stevie so that he can fall in love with her and marry her, and they can live happily ever after. It's just that simple.
It's hilarious, but more interesting that it's kind of based on, it's true to life.
It is. It is. Most of the things I write, I use literary license if I'm basing them on a true story. But this is about 99% actual fact, which makes it even more fun, I think.
What is Osborne? I'm curious. What is your husband Osborne? What does he think about this story being in a theatrical setting?
I think he enjoys it. I think he likes it. And in the story, as in true life, in real life, Osborne was the one that made my dream come true, and I was able to meet Stevie Wonder because of Osborne. So he should love it. Okay, what's not to like? Yeah.
Right. And so the reading that I attended, you actually won a prize for this play. Just coming out with a splash.
It was my first submission to a contest, and I won 3rd place at Script Teasers. So that was very, very exciting, and the reading was exciting, and the actors were just amazing, I thought. What did you think?
Oh, yes, they were. You brought in some wonderful local San Diego artists, and Delicia.
Delicia came.
You brought out Delicia.
Delicia Turner Sonnenberg, yes. She did stage direction for us, you know. I mean, it's great when you have somebody of that caliber
Right.
doing stage direction for you, you know.
My goodness. So that was close to being a stage production almost. I mean,
It looked very polished, didn't
Yeah,
it? Yeah.
yeah.
And they had just met that night, so
wow.
yeah.
And so to win a prize, there's nothing better than getting that little reinforcement, you know, because I understand, you put something together, it's your art, it's your creation, you're just not sure, you know, how it's going to be accepted or what
Absolutely,
how it'll turn out. But it's great to get that feedback.
It is.
Like that.
And I won some money too. so I'm a paid writer.
You are a paid
It's official.
playwright. I love it.
Yeah.
This is awesome. So we got to find a stage. We have to find a theater for this piece.
It's going to happen.
It's gonna happen.
It's going to happen. Yeah.
And we're gonna make sure.
It does surprise me how everybody has responded to this piece, or the response to this piece, because it's not a serious piece. You know,
Right.
it's fluff, but it just seems to make people smile, and it just seems to make people remember when they were young,
Right.
or their first crush, and that puts a smile on your face. So, yeah,
And that is why theater matters.
it does, isn't it?
Right there.
Yeah.
And so there's another piece you've completed, In Sickness and in Health.
Yeah, I had a reading on that piece in June.
Okay. That was at the.
That was at the Ion Theater.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was in conjunction with Playwright's project.
Okay. And this one just happens to be based on on perhaps true to life ideas.
Not according to my husband. No, no. He wants to make sure that everybody knows that the husband character is not him.
Okay.
So no, no.
So now you got to tell us a little bit about this play, In Sickness and in Health.
Well, you know, that's part of the marriage vows, right? And I'm actually writing pieces for each of the marriage vows, like that, you know, and richer and poor, that type of thing. So this one is In Sickness and in Health, and it deals with a couple that's been together for many, many years. And they are just dealing with aging and the little problems that come up as you age. And they deal with it with a lot of humor. And I would say they deal with it with humor and sex, but there's probably more talking about sex than there is actual sex, okay? But they're a lovely couple, and they say things to each other that are quite humorous, but they don't mean them to be humorous or funny. And I think that's the beauty of them.
I do understand it's very difficult. It's a challenge to be funny in writing. And you just pull it off masterfully.
I do not write to be funny, though. I don't write jokes. I don't try to be funny when I write. It just turns out that these characters are humorous people.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a lesson there. Perhaps life isn't to be taken so serious, perhaps. Huh?
I think that in hard times, if you can find humor, you've won half the battle, right? Yeah. Because times are hard. Times things do get difficult.
Certainly.
And it's a constant in life, right? So I remember my father saying, it's not what happens to you, it's how you deal with it.
True.
Right.
Very
So
true.
I think that's that this couple deals with it in a very healthy way. Although it may not seem like it on the surface. but they do, yeah.
Wow. So I understand that you've come full circle and you've realized just how important writing was. I was wondering if you could elaborate on that just a bit.
I started writing again because in 2007 I had a very bad accident. It caused me to have some severe problems. I could no longer retain information when I read. I had a difficult time comprehending information that I read. And that was very difficult for me because I love to read, and not being able to do it or remember what I read, boy, it was hard. It was very, very difficult. But I found out that I could write. And I had been a writer when I was younger, but then after marriage and kids and, you stop doing that.
Correct.
And so I decided that I would just start writing because I could remember if I read what I wrote, I could remember it. And that just kind of opened up a door for me. Because those next 3 years were extremely difficult, this was a way to bring joy into my life.
I see.
And I found out that I really liked what I was writing. And then when I started to show other people, they did too. And that really helped me create a new life for myself, because I could not and would not have the same life I had before the accident, but I have a different life now. But it's good. It's great, and the writing helped me to create this new life I have.
Wow, that is wonderful, and we're going to be the beneficiaries of this. That's so lovely. I'm excited. I can't wait to see this on stage. But there's other pieces in the works. You have one piece called Family.
Yeah, I'm working on a piece, and this is a full-length play, and it just really explores relationships. I'd like to write about relationships, yeah. And it explores what defines a family these days. My daughter is a single mother, and when my grandson was about 3 years old, I mean, very, very young, he realized that his father wasn't in his life. And he said to me, I don't have a father, I don't have a brother, I don't have a sister, and I only have one mom, okay? Because to him, a family looked like two parents. Whether those parents were male and female, or two females, or two males, it was two parents. And I thought, this is his view of family. And it just got me to thinking how the definition of what a family is really changed. We have blended families and, all of these different types of things. So that's what this play is really about. It just explores the definition of family.
And your creativity is just overflowing because you have another untitled piece as well.
Yes. Yeah.
What direction are you going with the fourth piece?
Maybe straight to hell.
Okay, you said it.
Yeah.
I know a little bit about it, but
maybe
direction.
straight to hell with this.
Oh my goodness.
With this piece, but I'm writing a play about Eve before she came to Earth, and what started the thought in my mind is about the current events that are going on, and the women that are speaking out about sexual harassment. And when I was young, right out of college, I had a great job, but I had a supervisor who would say inappropriate things to me in the meeting. I'm very, very young, and I thought, well, I'll just tell him he's embarrassing me and he'll stop. But he actually said, well, this is your fault because you bring your ass and tits to work with you.
Holy jeez.
And that just never left. Somebody can't say something like that to you and you forget it. And then, here we are decades later, and it's still an issue, and it's still a big issue. So I started thinking about, what if women could detach their breast, right? And not bring them to the workplace. Would that make a difference? And then I started thinking about how the female body was designed by God and what was happening up there when he was designing Eve, which was a very different prototype than Adam, right?
Right.
And so that's what this play is about. It's about Eve before she comes to Earth, and how we got our breasts and tits, and that type of thing. It will probably offend anyone who believes in any kind of religion at all. I really just hope God has a sense of humor and understands I'm a writer, okay, when he's, seeing all of this.
Right.
Yeah. But it's hilarious, okay.
Man.
But it is naughty. It is naughty, yeah.
And it's art. Yes.
It is very, very much art. Eve is just having a conversation with God, saying, "Hey, what's up with all of this?" Right? And yeah, so.
Oh, lovely, lovely.
Yeah.
Wow. So, I really want to get to the main course here. This is quite a lovely setup they put in front of us, and we're gonna drink some champagne, and I want to thank you so much for coming here to appear on Theater Corner with great excitement. I'm waiting for Dea Hurston's pieces to hit the stage. I'm telling you right now, sister.
Well, thank you, and thank you for doing this. I mean, not just for me, but what you're doing for San Diego and our theater community. This is fantastic, and I wish you much success on this, because it's great.
Oh, thank you so much.
It's really great.
Thank you so much.
Well,
okay, well, I think we have some quail eggs waiting for us right here. And thank you so
again.
much, and good luck to you in a beautiful playwright career that you're launching. And I can't wait to see where it goes.
Thank you, Michael.
Cheers. All right. Very good. And thank you, viewers, for tuning in to another episode of Theater Corner, and we'll see you next time.